Property listings are on the rise, but not yet meeting demand. And are we seeing a slowing down of the market? Anne Flaherty, economist at REA Group, joins me now with the latest property news. Good morning, Anne. It's certainly been very interesting throughout the pandemic. There's been a lot of talk about demand outweighing supply. Are there any signs at all that supply is in fact picking up?
Yes, there are signs supply is picking up. However, probably not enough to meet demand as yet. So we've seen the number of new listings on realestate.com.au actually pick up over the last few months. So in March, we saw new listings hit the highest level seen in over 18 months. Now, we did see a bit of a dip in April, but again, they're still above those levels that we haven't seen for 18 months. Having said that, when we think about the total number of listings on the site, we have to look at not just new listings, but also existing listings. And because of the strength of demand, what we're seeing is properties are selling extremely quickly, and also the number of total listings is coming down. So a lot of that residual stock on the site is being sold as well.
So where are you seeing the biggest changes in active listings?
Yeah, so the regional areas across Australia have seen the biggest change. Now, we are starting to see the number of new listings in regional areas increase. However, over the past 12 months, we've seen such strong demand for regional property, which means that these properties are selling very, very quickly, and the total number of listings on the site in regional areas has been coming down. Hobart's another one where we've seen total active listings fall to the lowest levels on record. Properties are selling faster in Hobart than anywhere else in the country. In contrast to that, if we look at cities like Sydney and Melbourne and Perth, we have been seeing total active listings increasing. And the reason for that is just that struggling inner city market.
Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? We've spoken a lot about places like Hobart and regional areas, just seeing that huge demand. But as you said, yeah, it's certainly changing. And what are the signs in terms of the market cooling?
Yeah, so I mean, cooling, but from a very, very hot point, right? So we have started to see some of our demand indicators creep back a little. So we've seen the number of searches for properties for sale start to wind back. We've also seen a bit of a slowing in the number of email inquiries. However, they are still well above the levels that we typically saw historically, well above last year's levels as well. So while there are some cooling signs in the market, it's almost as though we're moving from a very hot market to perhaps just a hot market.
And what do you expect to see perhaps over the second half of the year?
Yeah, so we do think that, a lot of that huge growth in demand that we saw over the past 12 months will start to slow a little. You know, a lot of people have already purchased. So we do think that email inquiries may stay a little lower. Having said that, with active listings on the site, coming down in a lot of places, we think that views per listing will stay quite high. So we still do see demand outweighing supply at this point.
Yeah, it's just fascinating, isn't it? If you take COVID away, is this time of year prior to COVID a slower time? When is the higher time for property?
Yeah, so we typically see that the autumn and the spring periods are really popular times to sell property. Now, we are coming to the end of that autumn selling period, so it's possible that we might see listings slow a little bit over the winter months. But then again, we did see the government announce a number of initiatives for new property buyers, a lot of which are coming into effect from July onwards. So whether or not they work to increase demand again over that period, we'll see.
Yeah, it'll certainly be interesting to watch. Thank you as always, Anne Flaherty, economist at REA Group.
See you later.